I'm Scott Hauser.
Ben Shinrock.
Hi, I'm Crystal Shinrock.
My name is Dean Rector.
My name is Nicole Wood.
Hi, I'm Beth Karate.
Hi, I'm Ben.
I'm Michaela.
Hi, my name is Mandy.
My name is Luke Moore. This is my daughter Lily and my wife Amanda.
Hi, I'm Alicia and this is Sanders.
Yeah, I was diagnosed with non-Hodgkin's lymphoma.
I have classic T-cell Hodgkin's lymphoma.
A form of non-Hodgkin's lymphoma.
I was diagnosed with Hodgkin's lymphoma.
I was diagnosed in June 2009 with Hodgkin's lymphoma, stage 2.
She was diagnosed on November 29th, 2012 with ALL leukemia.
I had Hodgkin's lymphoma and I was diagnosed December 12th of 1995.
Diagnosed with acute myeloid leukemia.
Sanders was diagnosed with leukemia, ALL.
Getting blood work done, and they thought my white cells were high. But actually, I then found a lump under my armpit.
I had a small little, probably a pea-sized lump underneath my jaw.
A lump growing out of this middle section, and all of my bones were disappearing.
She was always just crazy energetic, super easy baby, easy girl. I mean, just had the best energy, the best, everything in the world, and then was just kind of lacking the energy.
And I had sinus infections and they just wouldn't get better. I'd be on antibiotics and they would go away. 3 or 4 days later, I'd be sick again.
Felt like I had the flu, just bad cold. They kept going to the doctors, kept pumping me with antibiotics.
Would run a fever and just very tired. I wanted to sleep a lot. And we had him to the doctor several times and they just kept saying it was viruses. And
Right when you're diagnosed, there's fear.
And I was just so annoyed with having this issue and these pains that when I was told that I had Hodgkin's lymphoma, I was empowered. I was like, okay, whatever, let's go, let's do this.
I was with a girlfriend with me holding my hand, and I just buckled, cried, and it makes me cry just thinking about that moment. But
And, it just was so hard, like emotionally. And, I'd look over at her and all of a sudden she's the one putting her arm around me, like telling me it's going to be okay and things like that.
I mean, at the time I was only 20. So, as a 20-year-old, you just think, holy cow, this can't be happening to me. And you have your meltdown, and then you just say, okay, so what do we got to do?
I was really scared if I was going to lose her.
I mean, am I gonna live?
And I thought my life was over. I thought my world was coming to an end.
And so I immediately thought, oh gosh, cancer, I'm gonna die.
Wanted to know, okay, what does this mean? What is my probability of survival, which sounded bizarre.
My oldest son, Tom, at that age when I was diagnosed, I think Tom was in 7th grade and then in 8th grade, and he took it really hard. It was tough.
My mom and dad and sisters didn't handle it very well because they were so helpless. Like, cancer strikes you and you can't help that person. You can't fix it.
when I was 27 and a single mom, and my son was 5, trying to figure out what the easiest wording, how do you put this, mom's sick.
Well, it makes you look at life totally different, that's for sure.
It changes everybody's rhythm in life that is around you.
They say you got a million gift baskets, which is
I
great.
did, a million gift
We have more blankets than we know what to do with now.
My twin, she turned down a job to stay closer to me.
Second time I got diagnosed with AML, she was pregnant, and she gave one. She was in labor. I was deathly ill, standing beside her. I mean, I'd go into the bathroom and get sick. Nurses were they didn't even know who to look at.
I had treatment. I started with chemo, and I had 22 treatments of chemo, and then I had 6 weeks of radiation.
It appeared that the lymph nodes were maybe growing a little bit, that the tumors were growing. So at that time, they elected to put me on a regimen of chemotherapy.
I have been doing chemotherapy for 5 months. I have 2 treatments left.
I had to get a lot of spinal taps because I had the cancer was in my spinal fluid, so they just tap the spinal and inject chemo in it.
Started her first dose of chemo November 30th, 2012, and she will go all the way until Valentine's Day 2015.
My dad died from it too, so that was really scary.
About the same age, 29.
If you were diagnosed with the same thing, 5 years ago, 10 years ago, it would have been a totally different outcome. I mean,
if it was 1950, which is relatively not that long ago, somebody with the same diagnosis, they basically would send them home and tell them to make them as comfortable as possible.
I also was lucky enough to be treated today after years and years of research and fundraising and search for a cure. And so I'm sure that was a lot of the reason that I'm here today.
What they're able to do now, as opposed to even 5 years ago, 10 years ago, it's astounding how much better treatment has gotten. I can only imagine that's, has a lot to do with monetary donation and research. So, I mean, if we've come this far in 10 years, what are we going to do in the next 10 years? It could be gone. We don't know, but it's worth finding out.
So the more people that we reach now and get donations, the bigger the awareness will be.
Yeah. If it wasn't for funding for research on transplants, I probably wouldn't be here. So
the Leukemia Lymphoma Society needs more donations. They need as much as they can get to make sure no families have to go through what we've gone through.
So without like the Leukemia Lymphoma Society, American Cancer Society, all these people donating and funding research, we wouldn't have that peace of mind that, feeling that we're going to get through this and things are going to be okay.
Got to keep giving money. Such a terrible, terrible disease.
I mean, they help me pay my bills. They help me get wigs. I mean, those wigs are expensive.
I know the need is out there, and I would definitely encourage people to give to help support this cause.
It's doable, and as long as you have a support system, it makes it a lot easier.
I kind of lived like I was invincible, and at this point now, coming through and coming out of it, you just appreciate the times with your friends, the times with my son.
Together
we can do our part.
Together we can do our part.
Together we can do our part.
We can all do our part.
We can all do our part.
We can all do our part to find a cure.
To find a cure. To find a cure.
To find a cure.
Please donate what you can.
Please donate what you can. Please donate what you can.
Please donate what you can.
I looked at the camera.
That's perfect. You get awesome.
Thank you.
What have you?
Say thank you for your donations.
Thank you for donations.